Stan, some big news for you tonight, actually. We'll be talking about this transfer story around Ligt, which I think will excite a lot of people, but actually it really frustrates me. We'll talk about that in a moment. We'll also be talking about this rumour that Rio Ferdinand could be brought into Manchester United as a sporting director. I think that is quite interesting in itself. And on top of that, we'll also be talking about a few other things, Player of the Month and a few other things like that. But I also want to say as well, we have got some very interesting news, some very exciting news as well about the United stand, which we'll be bringing you a little bit later. Some of you may, if you've been watching the show for a few years, realise what that news is going to be, considering it's May the 1st tomorrow. But let's talk about this De Ligt story. So Matthijs De Ligt, fantastic centre-back for Ajax, 19 years of age. Playing in the Champions League semi-final today, absolutely sensational. Would be absolutely brilliant for Manchester United. And I've said absolutely twice, which I don't normally do in a sentence, because he would be fantastic for United. He would be the issue solved next to Lindelof. I play him in my FIFA career mode. If anybody watches, I play De Ligt and Lindelof. Doesn't mean anything, but I think they would work really, really well. But the story is this. His agent is Mino Raiola. That is factual. And the story today from Spanish reports are that De Ligt wants to play for Barcelona because that's where De Jong is going from Ajax to Barcelona. That deal's already been done. He'll move in the summer. And De Ligt wants to go there and he wants to develop that partner, that relationship, and also he wants to play with Messi. So De Ligt wants to go to Barcelona. However, Mino Raiola would like De Ligt to come to Manchester United, Juventus or Bayern Munich because it's more economically viable, meaning, in essence, he would rather they came to Manchester United because United will pay him more and pay the player more. And that's where I'm out. That's where I'm out because when you look at it, this is the problem with Manchester United, and you can't moan about the board and the players and the coaching and everything like that if you are going to act and be happy about the things that cause the issues. Like Ole Gunnar Solskjaer said the other day, we cannot just buy players because we're paying them 20% more than anybody else will. It's not the right mentality of player that you want. You want a player to come to this club because they want to come to it. Now, the downside to that is, I don't think we should be looking at De Ligt. Why would De Ligt, Champions League semi-finalist minimum, Champions League semi-finalist fact, why would he want to come to Manchester United? You know, why would he come to United, who are going to be playing in the Emmerdale Cup next season? I mean, Kelvin's just said there, Kevin Loud, why would he come to Manchester United? Exactly. The only reason De Ligt's coming to Manchester United is money. And that's not the right... I like De Ligt. I'd love him to come to United, but he's not coming to United unless we do silly things with money again, which is exactly what that report is talking about. When Mino Raiola is talking about, oh, you know, it's economically viable, reportedly, that's because he knows we pay massive agent fees and we pay massive wages to get the player. But it's a broken model. It doesn't work. Look at Manchester City, dominant for the last few years. They've never paid more than £60 million for a player. In fact, I saw something the other day that Otamendi, Company and Bernardo Silva are on the same wages as Ashley Young. And yet, we think that if you overpay for a player and you chuck loads of money at an agent, you're just going to make you successful. It's not. We're in this for the long game, and this is what I'm trying to get across. You take it or leave it. I don't want De Ligt at Manchester United because the only reason he's coming here is because we're going to pay him a load of money. He doesn't want to come here because we're an up-and-coming team, we're in the Champions League, we're a viable team to come to develop his future. We're none of those things. We're the worst prospect for any potential world-class talent. We're a shit team doing shit things for 6 years, and God knows where we're going to be in over the next 6. We are not a viable option for De Ligt. The only reason we can get De Ligt is if we go, we'll pay you double Barcelona's paying you, we'll give your agent double Barcelona's giving you, and we'll give Ajax double what Barcelona's giving you. That, for me, as much as I like De Ligt, it's symbolic of what we shouldn't be doing. We have to accept we're in for the long game, and we have to accept we need to box clever. You cannot keep chucking money at players. We did it with Pogba. We did it with Zlatan. We did it with Sanchez. Now, some of them have worked, but it's not the way to build a football club to bring mercenaries in. You know, it isn't. It's not. Do you think bloody Cersei's going to win the grand battle with her golden company? They're a mercenary army. No, she won't win it. Maybe she will. But no spoilers there. But you know what I mean? This is the point. De Ligt would be a fantastic signing for us. But the minute we didn't get Champions League football and the minute we became a shit club over the last 2 months, that was the point where you have to turn your back on De Ligt and say, we're not getting a player like that, because he won't want to come here. The only reason he'll come here is the checkbook. And to be honest with you, I think a lot higher of that lad. I don't think he'll be in a United shirt. I don't think he would want to be a mercenary. But a few people are blown away by the trim. That's good. Smash a like on the video if you like it. But no, so that... And I think that De Ligt thing is a farce. It is a transfer farce, because we need to stop doing these things. We need to stop going, oh, look, Man City wants Alexis Sanchez. How do we get him? Well, we spoke to his agent. Alexis wants to go to Man City because they're probably going to win the league. But if we give him another 100 grand a week, he'll come here. Done. Sign on the bottom line. No. Rip that check up and never do it again. Never get a player to come to United who would rather go to another club, but we're paying them more to come here. That's Chelsea. That's City. Well, it's not even City. It should be City. That's not what we should be doing. So I don't want those sort of players at Manchester United this summer. And I think a lot of fans need to think about that long and hard. Oh, I'd take De Ligt in any circumstances. So you take him as an overpaid mercenary? No, we've done this. Welcome to X-Robs X94, the latest member of the United Stand Members Club. The next thing I want to talk about is Rio Ferdinand as sporting director. This has divided opinion. So, hey, this is what the United Stand's all about. We like divided opinion. I don't. I like united opinion. I like positivity. I like it when Ollie's at the wheel. I like it when everything was going well. And the buzz was good. That glimpse seems to have disappeared again. But Rio Ferdinand as sporting director has divided opinion. You've got some people who think this would be absolutely great. You've got some people who are like, why? Now, I read something before I came on air. I think it was from the Evening Standard. And it was along the lines of, football agents are unsure who to contact within the Manchester United hierarchy at the moment. They don't know who to contact because they were going down a path of bringing a director of football in who had experience and knowledge, but now they seem to have changed their mind and they want to bring people in who are ingrained in the club, internal candidates, or have been at the club before. Now, you might think that's good, you might think that's bad, but it's a worrying thing when we're approaching the transfer window and agents don't know who to contact within the club hierarchy. Ed Woodward, maybe, I don't know. But in regards to Rio Ferdinand, it's been a funny week like this. We've had Mike Phelan linked to being director of football. We've had Paul Scholes potentially coming back as a coach. We've got Rio Ferdinand coming back as a sporting director. I think, I've heard that, this is a joke by the way, but Ji-Sung Park is apparently going to come back and he's going to wear a t-shirt saying effort, and for 90 minutes he's going to run around Carrington playing hide and seek with everybody, making them run around. He's going to be the running around coach. But no, I'm only joking, but I'm not a big fan of bringing all these people back. I look like, people 6 months ago, there was a rumour that Cantona was going to be director of football. 6 months later, he's posting pictures of knobs cracking eggs. Like, you need a certain standard at Manchester United. I want the creme de la creme. I want the best of the best. I don't care. You look at Paul Mitchell. He actually is a Manchester lad, but is that relevant or not? His background at Southampton, Spurs and RB Leipzig and his recruitment of talent, he is, for me, and he's English, he is, for me, with Van der Sar, very good candidates for that director of football job. And I would say, look, somebody said to me today, you could have got Pep or Klopp, but you snoozed on the Sir Alex Ferguson retirement and you ended up with shitty Moyes. You could have got Pochettino, but you've gambled on an ex-player in Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. You could be looking at that mistake in a year's time, because there was somebody was saying today that Pochettino would have took the United job this summer if they'd gone for him. So, shoulda, woulda, coulda. I don't know about that. But in relation to the director of football, the technical director, just go and get Paul Mitchell or one or two other people out there who are very, very good in that role. Welcome to Damon, the latest member of the club. In fact, he's not the latest member. We've got welcome duty to entertain as well. Remember, you can join the club by clicking the join button and you get your little badge and your access to the emojis. Phil Whitaker says, I like Rio and I'm all for it. Okay, let's talk about Rio specifically. Look, I've done tweets that people retweet and they look stupid. I said when Liverpool bought Van Dijk, he's just the Dutch Chris Smalling. However, people still retweet it, even though for the last 6 months I've said, look, sometimes you get things wrong. I got it wrong. So I take this with a pinch of salt. But 3 years ago, Rio Ferdinand, if you're thinking about sporting director being the person who is in charge of recruitment and development of players, 3 years ago, Rio Ferdinand said, I can't believe no one in the top four has gone for Ashley Williams. He'd enhance any of those sides. I've always said Ashley Williams is an Everton centre-back. That's all he ever is. I've always said that. I can look at you can look at a player and go, they're not that standard. And that's what worries me about Ferdinand. Would he look at Lukaku when he was at Everton and go, oh, he's a top striker? When I looked at him and you looked at him and went, I don't think he is. This is the trouble with Rio Ferdinand. What's his background? Very good pundit, previous legend and world-class centre-back, but what's his credibility as a sporting director for Manchester United? A year ago, he was going to be a boxer, and then he couldn't get a licence. So I don't see Rio Ferdinand doing qualifications in football, doing any research in relation to being a sporting director. I don't. I think we're treading a dangerous path. Rio Ferdinand could be a success. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer could be a success. But you cannot. I said this the other week. We seem to be delving in the world of hope. We seem to be, let's hope it works. You don't need to do that in high-end business, and that's what Manchester United are in the footballing world. It's high-end business. You don't need to go for hope. You can actually make measured decisions on he is a very good director of football in relation to the experience he's got. Rio Ferdinand, let's bring him back because the fans will be happy. I think some fans are happy by it. I think some fans are seeing through it and going, but realistically, you did this with Ollie, the feel-good factor. What is this? Let's get Scholesy back coaching, the feel-good factor. Is Paul Scholes one of the best coaches in the world? No, he's not. Could he be a success at United? Yes, he could. But there are coaches that you can go out and get who are actually qualified up to the arse and know what they're doing. Why are we dabbling in hope? Why are we dabbling in old boys? Why are we doing that? Because I think United fans are seeing through it. I think they are seeing through it. And I don't think it works anymore. Cobros Aking, this window is all on Ed. If bad, it's not Ed, not Ollie. But if good, let's be fair and say, Ed, this is his first win where 100% Ed's making final decisions and not ego managers. If Ed gets director of football, he still gets credit. Thanks for the contribution, Cobb Ross Akins. I think you're basically saying that it's Ed Woodward's issue. Director of football would expose Woodward, so he will be cautious, said T. Ballard. Well, there's a lot of rumours that United did change tracks, that initially they were looking for a director of football who was very experienced, knows what they're talking about, and United moved away from that model to looking at an internal candidate. I still think it will be an internal candidate, or looking at somebody who's a previous member of the club. Either way, if it's an internal candidate, they're already under Woodward's thumb and the board. If it's an external candidate, it's an old boy, then I'm going to have to go through an interview with Woodward as well, and they're going to be exposed as being inexperienced, so they'll still be under his thumb. Effectively, if you're a manager of something and you want to keep control of it, do you employ a very skilled external candidate who knows what they're doing, or do you employ an internal candidate who's already under your control, or an external candidate who doesn't know what they're doing and is inexperienced and is going to need to lean on you? And I think that's what's happened with United. I think we're going for somebody who cannot question the board. And that what's changed there? It's just it may as well be Punch and Judy. They're just puppets. And that's what I fear. An internal candidate's a puppet, and one of these ex-players coming back is just a puppet as well, because they don't have the CV to be experienced. In fact, I think they'll just be, look, I'm being unfair to Ferdinand to say this, but what if Rio Ferdinand gets the job and he's inexperienced and he's just Ed Woodward or the board's puppet, and he stands up as a United legend and everyone listens to Rio, but realistically behind the scenes he's got somebody not up his arse, but you know what I mean, as a puppet. I would much happier, and I know a lot of people don't agree with me, and a lot of people do. I'd be much happier if we went and got Paul Mitchell or someone like that. I think that would be far, far better. Roy Keane should not be manager of Manchester United. Roy Keane's my favourite player in my lifetime for Manchester United. He was absolutely immense. I'd like him to be in the dressing room to give him a kick up the arse, but as a manager, no, that wouldn't work for me at all. Bring back Rooney, says Maximum. Yeah, we can bring him back. Ollie will be out by December, mark my words, says I am anonymous. A few people have said that. Robson makes sense if you're talking ex-players, says Paul Lucas. I think Robbo's a bit old for that now. I think he likes doing the ambassador circuit, and I don't think he would be anybody that you could count on in that sense. Off the top of my head, I can't think of an ex-Manchester United player who's got the pedigree to be our director of football other than Edwin van der Sar, because he's actually gone out and done it. There isn't anybody out there who's doing it. To me, it's just lip service. It's trying to be popular. It's like, oh, look, we've got Scholesy and Rio and whoever back. And I think, who was the ex-player the other? Peter Schmeichel. I'd like to do it. I mean, why? What's your background in being a sporting director, a director of football, a coach. You know, you can't just say you want it because you played for Manchester United. I don't think it's right. John Rudge says you're living in the past. I don't think I'm living in the past. I think people are living in the past who think they want old boys coming back in the job. Forget the ex-players. It was all about Ferguson, says Crypt Market. Would you bring back Cantona, says Anaban? As an ambassador for the club, I think Cantona would be very good. As any involvement in coaching or developing or recruiting, no, I wouldn't. I don't think he's got the CV for it. I mean, the thing is as well, obviously Rio Ferdinand was world class and he's very popular in the media, and Cantona was an icon. But look at, surely people like Steve Bruce are far better qualified than those. And would you take Steve Bruce? Like, Steve Bruce has actually been and managed a lot of clubs. He's got a CV. But you wouldn't take him because you're like, well, he's never done well at a Premier League club. Quite rightly, you wouldn't take him. Yet you're going to take people like Ferdinand and Cantona who've done nothing in football, but they could hopefully be good. This is what I mean. If you're going to take somebody who's actually gone out and tried to do it. But there isn't really anybody. There's no really ex-United players who've gone out and been very successful at coaching or recruiting. Sorry I missed. What's the news on De Ligt, says Sharon D. Well, you could just go and watch the start of the video and not make me irritate the 6,000 people who are watching the show. I always find it funny when people ask for a recap when we're actually in the middle of a show and we've got a couple of other topics to talk about and we're in the midst of a topic. Why would I go back and recap something that's going to annoy people? But in effect, Raiola is De Ligt's agent, and Raiola has apparently said he'd rather sell to Manchester United than Barcelona because Manchester United will pay more in wages and more in agent fees than Barcelona will. And I'm saying, why would De Ligt want to come to United when we're going to be in the Amadale Cup and he's in a Champions League semi-final and he wants to develop? The only reason he would want to come here is money, and that's what we need to move away from. It's what we did with Sanchez. Sanchez didn't want to come here. He came here because we paid him more than anybody else would. So I wouldn't want De Ligt at United. I would if we'd been in the Champions League and he actually wanted to come to our club. But we need to steer clear of this. You can't criticise Woodward and the players if you're going to advocate, yeah, let's get De Ligt. It doesn't matter how we get him. It doesn't matter if we're paying more than anybody else. That's bollocks. We're Manchester United. This is where we've been going wrong for the last 6 years. Our club means something. It's got a recent history. It's got a very, very, very rich and meaningful past history. We should not be a club that is having to nick people off Manchester City by paying more wages. That's not what we should be doing. I want players at this club who want to wear this shirt. And it might take longer and it might be a longer journey, but it'll be far more successful. We've tried this for 6 years. Welcome to Jordan HD, the latest member of the United Stand Members Club. I must just remind you very, very quickly, because I'll forget. I've still got a couple of things I want to talk about. Tomorrow morning, 7 o'clock, May the 1st, right the way through till the end of the transfer window, Monday to Friday, Transfer Daily's back. So if you live in the UK, when you get up for school or work or whatever, and you're on the bus or the train or whatever, United Stand, 7 o'clock, you'll get your Transfer Daily, Monday to Friday, every morning UK time at 7 a.m. And of course, if you're in America or India or Australia or wherever, you'll get it. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, and if you are subscribed, make sure you've got your notifications on so you get your notification that it's up. So from 7 o'clock tomorrow, our very first Transfer Daily show. I'm excited. We like the transfers on here. We like the conversation, and we like the back and forth. And I think this summer is going to be ridiculous in relation to transfers, because there's going to be so many people linked to us, but viably, I think there are certain standards of players that we should not be getting excited about. I don't think we should get excited about De Ligt. I don't think we should be getting excited about Icardi. I don't think we should be getting excited about Jadon Sancho, because I think because we're not in the Champions League, we're not viable for those. Abdul says he misses Transfer Daily. It's back tomorrow for 3 bloody months. I do like it, but every day at 7 a.m. it's a bit of a trek, but there you go. Laurent Blanc as Director of Football wouldn't be bad, Moma, but I think he'd probably want a job himself. Let me just bring this in, because I'll feel really bad if I don't mention it. Scott McTominay's been voted Manchester United Player of the Month for April. What are your thoughts on that? Let me just settle that for a moment, because I'll tell you, you know what I'm going to say. You know what I'm going to say. I'm going to say that this is exactly why United have had a shit month. If you are, you're early tonight, are you doing a watch along? Says Mark G. No, I'm not. I'm just early because I know a lot of people will be watching Spurs Ajax. I will be watching it, but I've got to go out for a bit, so I can't do a watch along for it. But I am doing a watch along tomorrow for Liverpool Barcelona, so we'll probably do the show at about 7 o'clock again, and then do that. But I can't do it tonight, unfortunately. Werner in for Lukaku, says Sean Byrne. Werner is going to Bayern Munich. And T Ballard, is it true United sent 2 scouts to watch the same player, didn't know each other and gave differing reports? That's from The Sun. Well, you've just said it's from The Sun, so it's probably not true. I did read that United sent 2 agents to watch the same player. One said buy him, one said he didn't. But you know what? Actually, I'm going to defend United. If that happened, it's not uncommon to send more than 1 scout to watch one player. And of course, you're going to get different opinions from different people. It's not uncommon in any football. I remember when I was a youth playing football, and you'd get lots of different scouts watching you, and sometimes you'd have 2 or 3 scouts, especially if it's a Premier League club, from the same club. That's just the way it is, and obviously you're going to get a different opinion on that. So I don't think it's much of a store. All new Transfer Daily tomorrow, says Strawty Devil. Yep, 7 a.m, can't wait for it. Make sure you subscribe and get your notifications on. Actually, we're very close to 430,000 subscribers, so if you've not subscribed to the channel, click and subscribe. Ajax took a chance with Van der Sar, so why not Rio, says Mark Palfrey. Yeah, look, you know what? Why? But Ajax are always... I don't agree with that. I've got to say I don't agree with that. Ajax took a chance with Van der Sar, so we should take a chance with Rio. Have Ajax been in the wilderness in Dutch football for 6 years playing shit? No, they've not. We have got 5 big clubs bigger than us at the moment, and you want to take a chance on your director of football or your sporting director? No, it's not the time to be taking a chance. Ajax are always challenging for the title every single year. They might not win it, but they're always challenging for the title because they're massive compared to people like Den Haag or whatever else they've got. But United are miles behind our rivals, and you want to take a chance on your director of football. I don't think it's the time for taking a chance. I don't think it's time for taking a chance. So I don't think you can compare Van der Sar at Ajax, where the pressure's off, with Rio Ferdinand at United, where in what mentality are people thinking now's the time to be taking chances? 6 years since we won a title. Loads of different things tried, and people think the solution is hope and taking a chance. It's not. It's get the best person for the job. Surely. But going back to what I said about Scott McTominay, please do smash a like on the video. Well done to Scott McTominay for winning Player of the Month. But as I said, this is the problem with Manchester United. Scott McTominay, Player of the Month for April. This is a guy who basically runs around with... He doesn't say McTominay on the back of his shirt. It says 39, and then above that it says effort. Because all he does is run around. That's what he does. I know he scored a good goal against Wolves, but actually in that game, he got Young sent off and didn't do a hell of a lot more. I have not seen Scott McTominay do anything in relation to creativity, apart from that goal, or dribbling past people, or pinging 30-yard passes. He's just basically Jordan Henderson. Actually, I don't think he's as good as Jordan Henderson. He's Mark Noble. Now, that we're giving Player of the Month now. We are voting Player of the Month because the fans voted it, so you respect it. But we are voting Player of the Month now because of bloody effort again. And I frigging hate effort being the point. Oh, so frigging what that you run around? We're Manchester United, for God's sake. And I tell you what, fair play to Scott McTominay. I just think it's symbolic of what the problem with United is. And I think people like Alexis Sanchez, Romelu Lukaku, Marcus Rashford, Anthony Martial, Paul Pogba, Jesse Lingard, Fred, Matic, Herrera's not been fit, so it's not his fault. Those players should be bloody ashamed of themselves that Scott McTominay is winning Player of the Month off effort. It's not winning it off talent. What has he done talent-wise over the month of April? He hasn't skipped past 4 people and scored a goal. He hasn't got 5 assists and 5 goals. He's just run around and put some effort in. And that absolutely is the problem with United right now. That a young lad who just runs around with effort for 90 minutes is winning Player of the Month when there are people in that squad who are probably on 10 times more than he is, and they're not getting voted Player of the Month. That's the problem with United. It goes back to what we spoke about last night. Clear house. It's nothing against Scott McTominay, fair play. But should Manchester United's Player of the Month be a player who just runs around and puts a lot of effort in? It's embarrassing to the rest of that squad who talent-wise are miles ahead of Scott McTominay, But he wins it, quite rightly, because he runs around a lot, because those lot can't be arsed. Disgusting. Both 39. Goldbridge and McMayonnaise, both 39. Haha, same player. I had 39 before McMayonnaise. Good use of the emoji, though, T. Ballard. And Chloe Jenkins should have been Lindelof. Well, the fans voted. At least it wasn't Rashi or Youngie. That's all I can say. Evra for head coach nowadays, Man United fans, says Cyrus Hassan. I mean, Evra is the bloke who eats raw chicken. You know, we need to get some professionalism into our football club. We do need to get some professionalism into our football club. And when you're talking about Rio Ferdinand, he publicly said that Mike Ashley's been good for Newcastle. I mean, that worries me. Mike Ashley's been good for Newcastle. Well, if he thinks Mike Ashley's been good for Newcastle, he must think the Glazers have been bloody brilliant for Manchester United, because Mike Ashley puts the Glazers to shame. You know, this is a multimillionaire who just basically isn't a Newcastle fan, who takes money, you know, makes a lot of money out of that club and doesn't want to spend any money. So, and Rio Ferdinand openly said very recently what a great job Mike Ashley's done. So maybe he is the perfect person. Maybe that was his interview. Maybe that's why the Glazers want him. Oh, if he likes Mike Ashley or bloody lovers, he's an ex-United legend. He's very good with the media. We get him in, it takes the pressure off us, and he'll back us verbally. So, interesting, isn't it? Mark, Barca fan here. Rumour in Spain is we already sealed Ligt for 80 million, only to be announced after the season is over, says Blands. Mate, I've been saying this for a long time. I think Ligt is 100% going to Barcelona. I'll be very surprised if he doesn't, and I agree. I think it's been done for a long time. And to be honest with you, he shouldn't be coming anywhere near Manchester United. Because why would he want to come here? And I would never want to get another player at this club who comes to this club not because they want to be here, but because we're going to spend more money on them. It doesn't work. It really, really doesn't. Anyway, thank you everybody for watching. Please do smash the like button. Subscribe if you are new. Football Daily tomorrow at 7 a.m. May the 1st, all the way through to the end of the transfer window, which I think is August the 8th. I think, when does the official transfer window open? I think it's May the 15th, isn't it? But we always start at the start of the month. So we'll start tomorrow. Got a very good show lined up for you. I've got a few topics already, and I'm sure there'll be a couple more to add tonight. So subscribe, get your notifications on. Transfer Daily tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. And also a little bit of content coming for you next week. On Saturday, we are playing the United Stand FC is playing Football Daily FC, so that's going to be an interesting game. But yeah, Transfer Daily tomorrow, and it's going to be a marathon of the summer. So it starts tomorrow. Subscribe, get your notifications on. I'll join you for that. Make sure you smash a like on the video. Get your comments in below. Would you take Ferdinand? Would you take Ligt, even if it was just because you were going to offer him more money? Or does that need to stop? Thanks everyone for watching. As ever, brilliant in the live comments. I'd love to read them all. I can't, but I do read them as I'm going through, and it does get the brain working. So thanks everybody. Absolutely superb as usual. Enjoy Spurs versus Ajax if you're going to watch it. I'm not doing a watch along on That's Football. I normally would, but I can't tonight. I've got something on. So I will see you tomorrow, and I will be doing the 8 o'clock show at 7 o'clock tomorrow, because I am doing Liverpool versus Barcelona watch along. So have a nice evening. See you all very soon. You're absolutely fantastic. I love the community we have, and keep it up. And I'll see you in the morning, 7 a.m. Transfer Daily.